I can see it right now.
Right.
The social media department clips that off, and it's going to be like, cut to someone else saying, I don't give the Chiefs a chance. Cut back to you. They're not going to make the Super Bowl this year.
I'll eat that warm apple pie if that comes that way, and I'll deal with it. Oh, yeah, I'm eating that warm apple pie. That's right. It's Wednesday. It's the Pick Six podcast. It's Chris Simms Unbuttoned. Ahmed Fareed is here. And as always, we are presented by Lowe's. Lowe's knows home improvement. I don't like apple pie, okay? I knew it was dicey, me picking the Bills to win that football game, but I certainly was aware that the Chiefs could do it. We know that.
Yeah.
And it was there to be had. But, yeah, I don't like apple pie. I actually don't like pie in general. I don't like fruit. So, therefore, that takes a lot of pie out of the equation unless it's chocolate pie, which I actually do like.
I'm actually with you. So chocolate pie, and then my favorite pie.
Yeah.
Pecan pie.
You're a pecan pie guy?
Do you not like that either?
I don't. Is it a fruit?
There's no fruit. What do you mean there's no fruit?
Oh, no, pecan's a nut. You're right.
Does it have pecans in it? Is pecan a fruit?
No, it's not. No. But what else is in pecan pie? Because it's my dad's favorite pie, too.
Yeah, it's pecans. And then I don't know what all the other stuff is.
I know. There's
Super
no
sweet.
other fruits involved in there?
No, I don't think so. Pete, what is that other stuff that's in there? It's pecans and then pecan pie
stuff. For it to be your favorite pie, you would think you would know something about it other than the name of it.
I don't question it. I've just eaten it, and I really enjoy it.
What's worse, that I thought pecan was a fruit, or that you don't even know what's in the pie you
like?
No
idea. It's got to be a ton of sugar. It's something else in
We
pecans.
know that. We know. Here he goes. He's got it up here. You ready?
Carol light or dark corn syrup. Well, that's unhealthy, but whatever.
Yep.
3 large eggs.
Okay.
Eggs are healthy. 1 cup of sugar. I assumed that. A lot of butter.
Yep.
Some vanilla extract.
Right.
6 ounces of pecans.
Yep.
And then unbaked deep pie crust. So really it's just sugar, like corn syrup, sugar, and some eggs.
Yeah. Actually, maybe I need to try this. Maybe I can get behind it. It didn't sound that bad as I sat there and read it off.
It's as close to a cake as you can get with a pie, I think.
Okay. All right. Maybe the next time that comes around, I'll think of you, and I might actually dive down that hole, right? Because I just has never been into, like, peach pie, apple pie, blueberry cobbler, which was very big in my family. My dad being from Kentucky, his mom used to make this famous blueberry cobbler, and I was just like, all this purple crap all over the place of fruit. I just was not into that.
I'm with you.
But I will eat the warm apple pie of losing and picking against one of the greatest teams we've ever seen in the Kansas City Chiefs.
Pete is telling me that open was actually the Monday after the Black Friday Raiders-Chiefs game.
Gosh.
Where you said that Kansas City needed to change something if they were going to make the Super Bowl.
Right.
And they did. You motivated them to do exactly that.
Right. It's amazing. It's amazing what they do. It's still amazing to me what they did last year with how they played. And even this year, even though it was different, and I know they basically only lost 1 game the whole year, but to do it without ever or rarely dominating a team, right? It's very rare that you see a team in the Super Bowl that doesn't have a few wins where they're like, they kicked the shit out of so-and-so in week 4, and then they killed so-and-so in week 8, and then in week 14 they won by 35 points, right? It's rare to see a Super Bowl team not have that on their resume.
Yeah.
I can't think of too many that don't have it. There's been, I guess, a few defensive teams throughout, and I guess that's what we're talking about with the Chiefs, right?
Yeah.
The Broncos might have been a team like that in 2015 a little bit.
Well, you know what they are? Yeah. They're like the Minnesota Vikings from a couple of years ago, where it won all those one-score games, and no one believed in them.
Yes,
like if the Chiefs hadn't done what the Chiefs have done over the last 7 years, that's what it would have been like. We're like, they're not going to do it again.
It was
they're
a
not
mixture
do it
of
again.
luck like that, and then them knowing how to play late game football and just be the clutchest thing we've ever seen. I mean, here, I heard a stat the other day about Mahomes. Mahomes, it's with down, and Pete might be able to look this up real quick, but like down in the 4th quarter, got to have it drive to go win the game or tie the game or go up or whatever. Mahomes has done it every time in his playoff history, right?
Like 100
Brady's
games
like 5 for 11 or 6 for 11 out of doing it. Who's like, as we know, Brady's the clutchest quarterback we've ever saw. But Mahomes is like 8 for 8 or 7 for 7 or like something like that.
Every time he's done it. Yeah.
Every time he needs to do it, he's done it. And we'll see if he can do it one more time against the Eagles here.
So what you did is you went into the deep dive. You went into the barn, the all-22. So you looked at the championship games and tried to figure out what happened in those games that will apply in the Super Bowl. What will make things difficult for the team on the other side. So we're going to go through that, both sides of the ball here. I wanted to because we've had so many new head coach hires.
Yeah.
And everyone's talking about, you got to win the press conference. Doesn't matter if you win the press conference. Well, I was like, have we declared a winner of the press conference? So I'm going to do that. Out of all the press conferences we have seen so far,
sort this out a little
I'm
bit.
going to rank them and say who won the press conference.
Right, let's do that. And we can follow it from there and go, see, maybe there is some correlation to winning the press conference, which there probably is, really, honestly.
Yeah.
More times than not. So that'll be cool. I like that little element you're bringing.
So we'll do that, and then we'll lay the Bills and Commanders to rest.
Yep.
We got a little buzz watch for the Super Bowl, so we got a busy one here.
We got a busy one.
But what I want to do right off the top here, and we haven't done this in a few podcasts, is the homies put comments on YouTube. They should be read on the podcast sometime. Okay. So here's a bunch of the homies' comments here from YouTube. We'll go through a couple of them. I know. Sorry. Here we go. We'll start with Joe Field G5312. I've seen people disparaging Simms on various online platforms. What? I haven't seen that. Send that to us. It's a shame because this podcast is friggin' outstanding. Simms is spectacular. I feel like a large part of it is the dastardly hairline and comb-over that Simms has had the whole time I've known of him. Just let it go, brother. Well, that's not a comb-over. That's not a... I know, Joe. I thought we were not disparaging Simms.
No, I mean, first off, Joe, you disparaged me by not being able to spell my last name the right way. That would be the first thing. I'm being disparaged on other various online things because I said Lamar Jackson didn't throw a good ball at the end of the Bills football game, which he didn't, right? And as I told you, I can't tell you how many people in football have reached out to me to go, thank God for you saying that, okay? And then my hairline is receding, zero comb over. Can grow my hair out very long, actually, if you'd like to. Now, I mean, there is, it's getting back up there, but I have a full head of hair, and there is no hair missing. And I part my hair like within a big thing of hair every day. So I'm not pulling the comb over like we've seen some personalities try to pull up.
On my TikTok, every once in a while it'll pop up. People go to Turkey now to get the hair transplant. Would you ever consider that?
Never.
If it kept receding?
Not at all. I'm going down with the ship. Yeah, you'll never see me do anything as far as dyeing my hair or trying to give myself more hair. There's no way that's happening. No, and I mean, I was a guy to our man Joe here, okay, first off, I didn't comb my hair for 25 years of my life. I mean, literally from the age of 15 to 39, I've never combed my hair.
Forget the comb over. You just weren't combing.
I didn't even comb it. And then when I first got here at NBC, I still didn't comb it. I had kind of a shorter buzz cut, and I just kind of let it go. So Joe, you got to go back and look at that. I'm not losing hair. Maybe older receding hairline, yes. Not a comb over. Very disrespectful of you, Joe.
I would consider the turkey thing maybe. We'll see.
You would?
5 years from now.
You don't have to worry about it.
Not yet, but I'm getting the same thing.
Well, it's the same thing. I mean, okay.
What if it keeps going?
I mean, that's when I feel like I'm supposed to bring out the cool Kangol hats and the fedoras and do all that.
Yeah, we'll see. This is from Mark. Says, no one outside of KC and Philadelphia wants to see Chiefs and Eagles. No one.
Except for me.
For Simms.
I like
one
it.
Of one.
I love this. This is two heavyweights going at it. I mean, we are guaranteed of a good game. So, yes, I'm fine with this.
I said I'm not drinking until the Lions win the Super Bowl. So Bill Johnson says, congrats, Ahmed, on committing to being sober for the rest of your life, which is probably true.
Well played, Bill.
Matt Careberry says, the AI music is terrible. We've seen a few of these. AI, people are against AI. Pete is one of them.
Right.
He goes, just bring back the poems. They were way less annoying. So Matt hated the poems, but hates the AI so much that he wants to bring back the poems because they were less annoying.
I don't mind the AI, and there's been one or two that have been maybe not the coolest sounding, but I still enjoy it. The fact that AI made something that cheesy, I kind of find the silver lining in it.
And I put a lot of work into that. It's not all AI.
Yep.
And this is from Pinch Shot 39. This is on the Pod Sunday. Thanks for toughing it out, Chris, and bringing your A- game, which is great when you've been drinky, smoky the whole day.
Hey, listen, I was worried. We got done with our first commercial break, and I'm not going to lie. I felt like I looked at your face, Matt Casey's face, and Pete Demolitis' face, and I was like, wait, did that not go so well? Did I not speak English? Right? And I actually asked some of the crew today that did some of the editing. I was like, was I coherent? And they were like, yeah, you sounded good.
I don't remember any of it. So
I know I blabbered a little bit on a few points and probably belabored them a little bit, but I was excited and tired and drinky, smoky.
Well, if you did at all, we're going to make up for it in this podcast.
Yes, we are.
This is the Pick Six podcast. You went deep diving. We'll start with number one here, and we'll start with the Eagles offense and Chiefs defense. And you have a lot of interesting things that you saw with the Chiefs defense and Spagnuolo did, and I think we're going to get into that.
Right.
And so that's going to be awesome. But let's start with what Lockdown Corner says to you right here. He goes, how big of a difference is Saquon going to make compared to Miles Sanders, 16 yards that he got in 20 2022. So everyone's going to talk Super Bowl rematch. They'll look at that last one. A lot of things still apply. A lot of the same characters there.
Definitely,
And the Eagles' dominance, big guys, offensive line. The running game and Saquon Barkley as an X factor this time around for Philadelphia.
I mean, first off, it's not comparable, right, compared to Miles Sanders in the first time around. Saquon Barkley's a Hall of Famer. He's a first ballot Hall of Famer. Miles Sanders, right, is what, only a year younger or 2 years younger than Saquon Barkley? Excuse me, and he's going to be fighting for his NFL life, basically, here for the rest of his career, the next 2 or 3 years. So it is a huge difference. Saquon Barkley, you saw the first page of my notes. Is this the best big play run team ever? I mean, ever. I'm not saying that lightly. This is me, football historian, who's like obsessed with the sport. I don't know if I've ever seen a team be able to produce 50 and 60 and 40-yard runs at the capacity the Philadelphia Eagles do. Let alone, here's the other thing, too, to lock down CB. Mm-hmm. This O-line, I think, is better now than it was then 2 years ago, right? I just think it's in the run game, it's just a little bit more dominant altogether. And I think there's a little more emphasis as a whole offensive unit on their run game this time around. Last time around, let's not forget, their passing game was pretty damn good too, right? Mm-hmm. And that's where, people were telling me Jalen Hurts was the best quarterback in football, and I'm going, damn, hold on, he's really good, but I'm not ready to go that crazy, right? But it was really an effective part of their offense. So that's what's different about this Super Bowl. That's what's going to be fun to break down as we go along here in this segment, too, is just that the Chiefs are going to have to worry about stopping the run more than they did the first time around, right? Because the Eagles are better at running than the first time around, but lesser at passing. The Chiefs are, I think, probably a little lesser at stopping the run this time around than last time around, right? But not a whole lot worse. And they're certainly going to have to do some things and play some defenses that they're going to have to worry about stopping the run as priority number one.
You are a football historian. Pete is as well, and he reminds me that you were on the Titans with Chris Johnson the year before his CJ 2K season.
Right.
And that was a pretty big run game.
It was up there. It was like, it's definitely one of the few that comes to mind.
Yeah.
Right, because CJ was special speed, and if he got a crack or a seam, and I was there the year before he got the 2K, and then the year after he got the 2K, I missed the special season. But yes, he was capable of, there's a crack, or we got the corner sealed, they got the edge sealed, watch out, he's going to turn the corner and see you later. It's him, Adrian Peterson. I feel like there was a few years that were similar to that. Bo Jackson back in the late 80s and all that. Maybe you had some of that feel there, too.
This is like the total package, though.
It is. It's like
Saquon's got all the talent. You got one of the best run-blocking offensive lines ever.
Exactly right. It's all of it. It's the best I can remember, especially from the big play department.
All right, so this is from Nitin Mohan. This is, last year the Chiefs faced a better team with a Hall of Fame-level running back. They will again face a better team with a Hall of Fame-level running back. Christian McCaffrey averaged 3.6 yards per carry, but CMC provided a greater passing threat than Saquon. Do you feel a similar scheme will work better for KC against Philly?
Yes. I think that, honestly, this might cause more problems, really, than even the Shanahan 49ers football team, right? Who, again, had great balance and creativity and do all that. But the Eagles have a certain element here where they can literally just go, if you don't overplay to stop our run, we're going to score a 60-yard touchdown. We're going to rip off 40 yards like that. And as awesome as McCaffrey and the 49ers were all that last year, they couldn't just impose their physical will on you to that capacity. Okay, that's where it's different. Let alone the 49ers receivers they're not on the same level as this Eagles receivers. The 49ers going into that game knew, it's the Chiefs. And you heard me say it the whole time. Right? They're going to have a hard time separating from the Chiefs' corners. The 49ers receivers are not great man-to-man receivers. Well, this is the opposite of that. These are awesome man-to-man receivers. And these are two guys that everybody goes, oh, shit, I don't want to play man-to-man against them. But we don't have a lot of options here because the run game is so good. We're forced into a corner here to do things we don't want to. So as much as maybe there's not the mental gymnastics of dealing with a Shanahan here, there's physical gymnastics that really Kansas City is going to have to deal with. And here's my baseline or banner statement for the Super Bowl as I think about it here the last few days is it's brains versus brawn, right? Not to say that Kansas City doesn't have some brawn on their team, right? But Kansas City's the one that's, hey, we got to do this. Hey, we're creative. We do this on defense. Hey, in offense, we come out with all these cool formations and do all this stuff, and we're going to figure out how to attack your defense. And, as the game goes, we'll adjust to what you're doing, and we'll figure that out too. Where Philly's a little bit like, we're here. We're big. We know what we're going to do. We know what we want to do. You know what we want to do, and it doesn't matter, right? And that's where it's kind of cool. It's NFC brawn versus AFC brains, and it's kind of cool. It's shaking out that way.
All right, let's get over to a little bit of the Jalen Hurts stuff here because there were a little brains. You thought maybe when we talked about it on Sunday, on the first play of the game, you said, maybe for the first time, I'm seeing Jalen Hurts up here moving some things around, finding a favorable look on the first play.
Exactly
and so you've gone through, you've deep dove into the all 22 here. You were saying before the podcast, they don't do a whole bunch of stuff. They're the Eagles. They got the deep voices, like you just said, and they can just run over you. They don't need to be schematically
He literally was like,
interesting.
check. We're running left.
Yeah. So let's take a closer look at that first play, that 60-yard touchdown run.
I think this is a huge element of this football game.
Okay.
This is one of the underlying things that we need to watch out. This was one of the reasons the Eagles lost to the Chiefs in the first Super Bowl. We broke this down thoroughly, right? All the crazy things Spags did, and the Chiefs were the Eagles were kind of like, wait, we did this all year and it worked against every defense, and oh wait, you're bringing double corner blitzes? Like, we didn't even think that was a possibility, and that's where they need the quarterback to save them. And hopefully they can have a few plays to go, hey, when they play this defense, you gotta get us out of it and save us here, right? And that's going to be a big thing. We've talked about for the last 7 or 8 weeks, they waste plays, right? You hear me say about that all the time. This was awesome because Jalen Hurts was in the shotgun. There was a totally different play called here. And he got up to the line of scrimmage, and as he was getting close to go, like Blue 45 said hut, he realized – like something went off in his brain. He went, oh shit, this is the look the coaches have been telling me about all week to get to this special toss play to Saquon. And why does he do it? Well, it's a 5-man front, okay? But 5-man front too, where the shade nose is kicked to the weak side, to our right here, right? And then the weak side linebacker, Luvu's on the back side there, kind of there for maybe the quarterback keeping the ball if they stayed in the shotgun formation. But they didn't stay in the shotgun formation. So now he's not only in this formation where he goes, wait, we got basically like almost 4 people to the backside of the center. And if we want to run it left, they're going to be in a tough spot because Bobby Wagner's almost head up with the center as the middle linebacker there. But add into that, now they're going to motion Devontae Smith across the formation because they know it's man-to-man, and they're going, hey, let's get one more guy out of the way of where we want to run, right? And put one more guy on the weak side of the play where we're going to run over here, and you're going to have 5 or 6 guys totally on the opposite side of the field. Numbers advantage to us. So they get to that, let alone it's the right scheme and how they get to it with the weak side people. I think we got one more shot here, right? Pete, as you see, he goes in motion. Okay, you could see that Marshawn Lattimore on the top of the screen there is going with him. So that's one less guy outside on the edge that can make a tackle. And then let's see, do we have one more shot, Pete? Okay, all right. Well, we're going to show one more shot. Either way, we didn't. But either way, you got to trust me. They pitch it out. Mulata pulls around, right? They get guys on the edge. And because of the look and what they told Jalen Hurts to do and wired him in practice all week, he got to the right play, and it ended up being positive. And this is something that he is going to have to do in the Super Bowl because, as you know, as I know, as everybody knows, Spags is a magician. And he confuses every quarterback in every big game, whether that's Tom Brady or Josh Allen last week or whoever. He's special that way, and your quarterback's got to be able to get you out of some of these situations.
Did you see that throughout the game? Jalen Hurts being able to not waste plays and get them into the proper...
I wish it was still a little more, right? Okay, just because teams are so blatant with the Eagles, right? They're just so blatant where it's like... Okay, now they're playing pass, and they're worried about, Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown, so they get way back in here. Here's the second shot on the play, but perfectly. This is perfect here. You see there's Mailata, there's Dallas Goedert out on the edge, A.J. Brown blocked down on Dante Fowler at the edge of the line, a guy at the line of scrimmage, and you could see Frank Luvu in the backside there. He's doing nothing. right? Marshawn Lattimore's out of there. He's doing nothing. And then it became down to like, oh, Saquon and Jeremy Chin one-on-one, and he broke that tackle and went to the house. So did I see it through the rest of the game? I did. Would I like to see it more? Yes. Do I think he's going to have to do it more against the Chiefs? 100%, right? And the thing with the Chiefs is they're hard to do it against, too. They won't just line up in it and show you, too. That's what's going to be hard.
Yeah.
And that's where he's going to have to really the study of the film and the coaches talking and them coming up with the right plan. Because the Chiefs will kind of show one thing and you go, oh, wait, check, audible. And then you start to go through that and you go, oh, shit, they were really just faking that right there. Now they're in something else and I just audible to a disaster, right? So you got to make sure you're doing the right thing. But I did see more of it. And the quarterback design run, as we got inside the 10-yard line, right? That was another one where it looked like at the line of scrimmage, he saw the look they trained him to see all week, and he said, boom, the hell with it. I'm going to call this play, and that's where he got the 9-yard touchdown run.
Well, let's take a look at it. We got 3 screenshots on that one, too. And, I mean, Hurts is going to have a couple more weeks to get that knee even healthier. And it did seem like he talked after the game like he was unleashed a little bit, and I feel like the coaches ran with him a little bit more, and I think he appreciated that. And so this is a threat for the Chiefs that they're going to have to deal with. First and goal, 9-yard line, Jalen Hurts in the shotgun.
First and goal, 9-yard line. Okay, they love to do this down here and get in these situations where they basically go, okay, you're going to give us one-on-one on the outsides, and maybe we'll throw the football. If we feel like you're going to all drop into coverage and take people out of the box, I'm going to audible to a quarterback design run or something like that, and you're going to be in trouble. So let's go to the next picture here. We got 3 receivers to the left, A.J. Brown to the left, 3 receivers to the right, A.J. Brown to the left, excuse me. He knows, right? He's going, wait, I got 5 linemen. I know one of these guys in the box is covering Dallas Goedert, so he's not going to be able to get involved in the running game. And you can see Bobby Wagner, I believe, is covering him, right? So now he's going, really, the box is 6 people, okay? And if I call the quarterback design run, we got 6 blockers. And I'm going to get to that man-to-man, boom. And as you can see here, they got body on body, but the center's got nobody on him. And the center gets up to the second level, and I believe if we got one more picture here, he gets Frankie Louvu, and then Saquon Barkley gets Jeremy Chin leading up through the hole. And you see it right here, right? So there's the center at the 4-yard line, blocking. I think he got Jeremy Chin. I think I'm confused or mixed up in my ways. And Saquon Barkley ends up Frank Louvu. And there you go. And look at that hole, first off, Ahmed.
Yep.
You could see Bobby Wagner, who was covering Dallas Goedert. He's like, oh, shit. They called the quarterback design run. I got to try to run over there and help out. But it's too late. There's a huge hole. Barkley's pancaking the guy he's blocking, and Cam Jurgens is all over Jeremy Chin. And that's not a winning recipe. And Jalen Hurts basically walks in the end zone untouched.
So you think this is a danger for they could get run on by this Eagles running
I
attack.
do. I definitely do. I haven't seen anybody yet really slow down the Eagles in their run game.
Yeah.
Right? It's just a matter of like, you know, can you get, if they got the numbers like last week, 15 to 118, I'd go, okay, that might be able to win. But what are Jalen's numbers off of that? Right? If you could get a game like it's the Rams 2 weeks ago where you go, wait, no, we got the rushing defense, 118 from Saquon, but we got a performance from Jalen Hurts like we saw in the Rams game or the Packers game, I'd go, well, the Eagles are in trouble. They're in trouble. Or if it's a performance like we saw from Hurts in the wild card of the divisional round, then you go, well, yeah, then Saquon's got to rush for 200 yards for them to win the game. That's what it's going to have to be. And this is why this was awesome, because it doesn't put all of the eggs in the Saquon Barkley basket. And that's what I've been saying, right? I'm not trying to say they're awesome. Nobody's going to tell you the Eagles are more awesome than me. I was just saying they've been living dangerously with the lack of a passing game. If they have a passing game like this, they're going to be hard to beat. I don't care. Chiefs, whoever it is, it's going to be hard to beat. But yes, I think the Chiefs certainly are going to be in a bind here, worried about stopping this run game of the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah, did you see any wrinkles? I mean, obviously A.J. Brown was more involved than he has been here recently with almost 100 yards receiving. The Commanders, were more of a middle of the pack man team in the regular season, played a lot more of it in the AFC Championship game,
right?
Or in the NFC Championship game.
You're right.
So, what'd you see? Any wrinkles there, passing game to?
I think the other aspect is like when they know they get man and all of that, he does seem to access some of their pick and shallow cross rub plays. That's going to be another thing that's going to be big in this football game, because they're going to get they're going to get man-to-man coverage from the Chiefs, a good amount.
Yeah.
The thing is can they combat it and do all that and then pick up the pressures or the blitzes, run game or pass game, and still have successful plays? Because that's what Spags' whole, we know, the tactical chances, right? The tactical blitzes, the things he does there, and that's what he did in the first matchup. He's going to try to get them behind the chains on a first down so he can go, wait, now it's 2nd and 14, and I know more than likely they're going to throw, and now I can play crazy coverage. He's going to try to narrow down that attack in as many situations as he can so they don't have the ability to go, well, we could run or pass. You're screwed either way, right? And that's where he's going to have to come up with a magical game plan of putting the Eagles in that situation maybe more than they've been all year.
All right, so let's kind of shift the focus a little bit more on the Chiefs and what they did schematically in the AFC Championship game and what might carry over into the Super Bowl here. Hernan Favela with a tweet to you that says, why was the Chiefs defense so vulnerable to deep passes against the Bills? Was that a safety tandem problem, or there's just so much you can defend against your boy Blue?
Well, I think, one, it is the boy Blue, right? He is awesome. He's going to make his plays. I don't think they gave up as many big plays in the pass game maybe as...
Yeah.
He's trying. I mean, if you ask me, you're referring to the Max Hollins touchdown, really, more than not, right?
Yeah, and the one that got inside the 5. Again,
the one that got inside the 5. Exactly right. It's those two plays. Mm-hmm. All right, so, Pete, I think this is the perfect spot for us to show our last play, the Max Hollins touchdown. Okay, this is why. And it wasn't because of, this is what I talk about with the Chiefs and tactical chances. No, we're on this. Let's just stay with this subject right here. Right? The Chiefs are phenomenal in the secondary. We know that. Are they as good as last year? No. Because of L'Jarius Sneed, but they're still damn good. They got cover guys everywhere. Right? They do have big people up front. And Noddy and Pennell were certainly a part of the game plan more this last week against the Bills than they were against the Houston Texans the week before. And they're going to have to be a big part of it against the Eagles. You got to think that there's going to be certain plays and down and distances where the Chiefs go, we got to put 3 D tackles in here, right? We got to play Noddy. We got to play Pennell. We got to play Chris Jones, right? Yeah. And then the 2 defense ends to stop some of these run plays. And then we'll figure out some creative coverages to do. But here, on this specific question here, vulnerable deep passes. The Chiefs will take some chances. And Pete, if you got it up here, let's show this play here. This is a 2nd and 10, right? This is 2nd and 10. Okay. I just want to make sure I got this right. There's 29 seconds left. And my big thing is, first off, no one does this, what we're about to see. No one. Teams don't do this. So the Chiefs are playing a little bit of like a defense here in 2nd and 10 where they're going, we think they're going to try to get, a 5 or an 8-yard completion so they can make it 3rd and manageable and set themselves up for the field goal. They're do that, right? And where they're amazing is they go, nah, that 5 or 6-yard completion here. Let's take a chance. And chances are they probably are going to call some play like that. Mm-hmm. So let's squash that and see if we can get them to 3rd and long and on the fringe of field goal territory and see where it goes from there, right? And let's see, maybe 3rd down, we make them kick a long field goal and they miss it. Now it's like we only need 1 completion and we can kick a field goal before the half, right? So they go for it. And what you're going to see here is double spy. It's a 3-man rush, and we're going to show more clips of this before. Double spy, Leo Chanel and Drew Tranquil. They are doubling the 2 outside receivers. And in this case, it's Amari Cooper down here, and up top it's Khalil Shakir. And then they left Justin Reed man-to-man on Dalton Kincaid right here in the bottom hash, right? And then at the top, they're leaving their best corner man-to-man against Mac Hollins. But my point being is there's no safety help here. This is 3-man rush, double spy, cover 0. All right? 3-man rush, double spy, double the outside receivers, both of them, cover 0. Like, this does not go on. But again, these are the tactical chances the Chiefs are willing to take or have the guts to take in big moments, and that's why they win so many moments. Now, in this one, okay, you roll the dice a little bit with a tactical chance, and you got a guy like Josh Allen who goes, oh, wait, I don't know what the hell's going on here, but I'm protected, and I can see that Mac Hollins is fast and big, and he's one-on-one, and I got an awesome arm, and I'm going to throw the most perfect ball ever because McDuffie plays great coverage, and it ends up a touchdown. So that would be an example here of, I did not think they had problems with the deep pass in the game.
It was just a chance they took.
I think it is too, but this was the chance they took. And this is sometimes the gambles you get beaten at. And these are the things you got to attack the Chiefs a little bit with. Too many teams go, oh, gosh, when they do this crazy stuff, let's just survive the down. And no, you got to a little bit go, hey, wait, they're going to take away all the 5 and 4 yard completions, and they're going to roll the dice for you to throw it deep. Then, yeah, ding, 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 A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Jalen Hurts. You got to hit a few plays like this during the game to back them out of some of the crazy shit they do.
Well, let's go back one play then and show the play that kind of set this one up. It was the first down play before this, because I think it's a lot of the same things that the Chiefs are doing, but with little tweaks.
Little tweaks. And that's, again, where it's going to be important for Sirianni and Kellen Moore and Jalen Hurts to be all on the same page here as far as what's going on. So now it's 1st and 10. And again, I think these are things, the reason I'm showing you this is because these are the kind of things, just like the last play, it might not be, hey, we're worried about doubling the 2 other receivers. Against the Eagles, it might be, hey, you guys get down there and be the extra run guys, and then we'll just play cover 0, like with this weird look as it is anyways, right? Mm-hmm. So it might be a different element, but also this holds true too, and this is why I wanted to show these plays. Because the Eagles, when they drop back to pass in 3rd and 10, 1st and 10, and maybe this type of moment, I would think that Kansas City is going to a few times go, hey, let's double spy him, just like we do here. Again, the same thing. Drew Tranquil, Leo Chanel, they're in the box, or they're trying to make sure the guards can't help out with other pass rushers right here. So that's the first thing they're doing. But as you can see, they're not committed or trying to rush. They're trying to just keep the body presence, and then they're going to back out. And here's the other amazing thing about it. So now it's a 3-man rush, double spy, okay? And they got everybody else playing man-to-man with a man-free safety in the back end. Okay, so these are things, again, that I think you're going to see the Eagles get good looks at like this during the football game, and you're going to go, okay, hey, you're not going to be able to run Jalen Hurts in this one. You got to stay in the pocket, make a throw, do something like that. And this is one here where I felt like Allen left the pocket. He got pressure from Josh Allen, but as you see him right here, set up again. Set up and buy time. You know all your receivers are going the other direction. So now here he's running to his right, and everybody's running left. I wish he would have set up here, right? But nonetheless, he runs, but then he runs to no man's land because Leo Chenal, as the quarterback spy, is there, and he ends up having to throw the ball out of bounds and can't do anything here altogether. He throws the ball deep down the field, jump ball that he's lucky doesn't get intercepted.
And so, you think the double spy is something that we'll see in the Super Bowl.
Another one is rare. You don't see teams double spy much. But Spags is an outside-the-box thinker, and he's watching film, and he's going, one spy's just not good enough for this guy sometimes, Josh Allen. He runs either way. And sometimes we have a guy's got a spy on him, and receivers are running one way, and he runs the other way, and the spy gets picked, or he can't get through the trash, and all of a sudden it was useless. So he went, the hell with that, 2 spies. And then let's show the last spy play, because I think that was really cool too, because again, it was another tweak in how they do it. It's never the same.
Yeah, this one was a 3rd down and 10, a little earlier in the second quarter, about 4 minutes to go here. Yeah. And it's another 3-man rush. Not a double spy.
No.
Single spy.
Single spy.
With a Nick Bolton.
Single spy. This is one where they go single spy, 3-man rush, and they did the old, hey, we have Trent McDuffie, who's one of the best corners in football. You take him, and the other 7 guys, we want you to cover the other 4 eligible receivers. So Josh Allen drops back to pass, and he's like, oh, shit, first off, it's it's Coleman on McDuffie. I don't love that matchup. My young receiver on, like, maybe the best corner not named Pat Surtain at all in football. So he doesn't love that. But then as you see here, 3-man rush. Go ahead, Pete, to the next picture. He's got a bunch right to his right, the back set to the right. He drops back to pass. You see Nick Bolton in the middle of the defense spying him, right? But look at all the Chiefs defenders. The free safety is actually looking at the 3-man bunch too. So they literally have, well, what is it? We have 6 on 4 basically on one side of the field, and then one of the best corners in football on a rookie receiver on the left. And so Josh Allen, he looks back, and at first he looks to the right. He's like, oh, shit, there's a bunch of Chiefs guys there. I don't think anything's going to be open. And as you can see right here, he's already looking back to his left going, I hope my one-on-one can win here. And McDuffie is all over him. He's ahead of him. He's got an arm on him. and he's going to slowly but surely just squeeze Coleman to the boundary and make it almost an impossible attempt or ability to catch the football. But again, the things the Chiefs do, they're complex. You got to have a smart game plan, and you can't just go, oh, this is their three-man rush double spy defense. Which one, right? Oh, this is their three-man rush one spy defense. Which one? Because they got lots of varieties of all of that, and that's where pre- and post-snap is going to be really important for Jalen Hurts and preparing for this football game.
Seeing if, double spy, or is there a blitz, or is there no blitz? Because
exactly.
Jalen Hurts in the NFC Championship game, I think we have a graphic on this, on the times he was blitzed and not blitzed. He was not blitzed 53% of the time, so that means he was blitzed about 47% of the time. Versus the blitz, his numbers were definitely, his completion percentage was down there. Still threw for 116 yards, but you can see no blitz, just 2 incompletions on 15 pass attempts.
Yeah, no, they're scary to blitz. One, because they got those guys, right? A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith.
Right.
2, if you do blitz him, he can move and avoid it, right? But I'm going to say, from some of the way they handled the blitz against Washington, think about the we're up 20-12. They just recovered the fumbled kick return by the Washington Commanders. The Commanders' defense blitzed them almost every play. Their answers were not very overwhelmingly great, right? He threw a jump ball up to Dallas Goedert. Probably should have been pass interference on Marshawn Lattimore. They didn't call it, right? They did another one where, again, guys were free running straight through. And then there was the pass interference play on Devontae Smith. Again, if you remember, guys running free through the line of scrimmage. There's no really quick way to throw it. They didn't block the guys. He does a great job of getting out to the pocket to his right. He throws a ball to Devontae Smith. They call the pass interference on Marshawn Lattimore, which I would argue that was less egregious than the play before, but they called it this time because they knew they missed it on the play before. But yeah, those answers is what I'm saying are going to be underwhelming to Spags and the Chiefs. They're going to go, wait. Their answer is just to run around and throw it up to somebody, right? That's going to embolden him to blitz. He's going to go, well, shit, they don't really have a plan, right? I'm a little worried that, hey, they might pick it up and he just might throw a go route to A.J. Brown, but I'm going to have to take some of these chances every now and then, right, to do that. And like I said, some of those plays in the football game with Dan Quinn and their blitz getting home so freely is going to definitely embolden the Chiefs' defense.
So a little bit of a change of strategy because they did not blitz Josh Allen all that often, just 19% of the time in the AFC Championship game. But when they did, it was effective, including the final offensive play.
It seemed like it was the least amount of blitzes I ever saw Chiefs have all year. I don't know if that number stands true, but they obviously opted to wait. Let's not blitz him because he's a great one-on-one thrower. Just like Hurts, we talk about, you could blitz and he can get us outside the pocket, and all of a sudden you go, oh no, we're all in there blitzing, and he's gone. The quarterback design run could be scary against the blitz because, you blitz and then all of a sudden he breaks that first level and you're like, oh, shit, he's out of here, right? But I was surprised by the lack of blitz attempts by the Chiefs defense. I really was. There was only, like we saw, a handful. And then again, that's what the beauty of the last play of the game for the Bills on offense was, because they had not shown that blitz the whole game. They hadn't blitzed all that much altogether. You heard Tony Romo in the broadcast go, doesn't look like they're going to blitz here, or doesn't look like they're going to pressure, right? All of those things. And then on top of that, they blitz, as I've said 40 times already, the second best cover corner in all of football, where that's the last person you're going to, as a quarterback with a high IQ, you're going to go, well, surely they're not going to blitz their best cover guy on a 4th and 10 in a moment like this, right? Oh, no. And that's what makes Spags awesome, because he can zig when you think he's going to zag, and it's like he's in your head to what you're thinking about, and that's where that last blitz on that last play of the game was phenomenal.
Well, let's go through it. We got the 4 screenshots of it. It was a 4th and 4 here, not 4th and – so it was 4th and 4. Allen is lining up. Like you mentioned, Tony Romo's on the broadcast. He's like, oh, he's going to have time. Not going to be pressured on this one.
Yeah, which I'm shocked he could so confidently.
Or is it 4th and 10?
Say that. Well, no. So this is the play before we're going to show first.
Okay,
that's all right. We're going to get
there. It's a slow roll. This is 3rd and 10.
This is cool though, regardless, because. Again, here's the Chiefs. They're going to blitz. This is one of those handful of blitzes you're talking about in the football game. This is an all-out blitz. And I heard a lot of people kind of complaining about this. How could they call a wide receiver screen on 3rd and 10 in this moment? And you heard me say before the podcast, no, this is really, by most offensive geniuses, one of the first few plays you put in to combat the all-out blitz, because everybody's running at you, the quarterback, right? And you kind of draw them in, and then you throw it outside, and you hope you sneak a blocker or two out there to go, well, now everybody's running after the quarterback, and now his guy makes one guy miss, and he's gone. And maybe the play of the day by Karlaftis here, because this is a wide receiver screen to Amari Cooper to the top of it. They have it blocked pretty well. Karlaftis, who is rushing, sees the ball go by his ear, stops his rush, and makes a shoestring tackle on Amari Cooper, because as you could see right here, right, McDuffie's being blocked by Khalil Shakir. The right tackle, Brown, is about to be all over Connor.
Yep.
Okay? So now it's like, oh, shit, only people from behind can make the tackle. And Karlaftis dives and gets his foot along with McDuffie, or you go, they're going to the house here. Like, forget tying the game up. They're going to go up in the football game, because as you can see, 27 is down.
Yep.
He's fallen to the ground, and you can see right there, Karlaftis is hanging on for dear life to 1 foot. That was one of the under-the-radar plays of the game right there.
Certainly in field goal range,
yes.
if not to the house. And now you've got the lead.
Right.
And just you'll have to watch Patrick Mahomes go down and score a touchdown and beat you. It'll just be a different way to do it.
Exactly right.
All right, so now it's 4th and 5.
Now it's 4th and 5.
And so they've blitzed right there. They didn't do it much in the game.
No.
You show a little pressure.
Got to have it moments. You got to feel like the Chiefs are usually going to blitz, right? That would be my thinking. Every now and then, though, they throw that zig or zag, but yes, you're right. Right, They usually do something aggressive.
Yes,
I think is the way to say it.
Exactly.
Right?
Blitz or not. So
blitz or not, double a guy, whatever, like we saw at the end of the first half.
So here is 4th and 5. We've got 4 screenshots of this all 22. The final offensive play of the season for the Buffalo Bills.
The final offensive play of the game of the season. We got 2 backers up at the line of scrimmage again, right? But they do this a lot. So you're thinking, oh, they're just going to show, and then they're going to get back out into coverage. They're just trying to make sure they can't double Chris Jones right away on the pass rush, right? That's what you kind of feel like. You see the safety Hicks 21 at the top of your screen. Looks like he's playing maybe a cover 2 type of safety look, because he go to the middle of the field. It's a tight split at the top of the receiver. You see McDuffie there, right? So with all of this, they're not expecting blitz right here, the Bills. They're not. And Josh Allen, like Mahomes, is at the line of scrimmage pointing out protections just as much as anybody in football. Like, there's nobody that does more in that stuff than Josh Allen. But here, again, like the thoughts I talked about, they haven't blitzed me much. And wait, I'm worried about Justin Reed and Bolton, who are standing, over both of my guards. But I'm not thinking they're going to blitz the best cover corner on their football team and one of the best in football in this moment, right? So he calls the protection to the left to where Nick Bolton is on that side, okay? So the center is going to slide towards Nick Bolton, okay? And that's going to be ultimately their biggest issue. He only has 5 blockers, so he's trying to get 5-on-5 the best way possible, okay? That's what he's trying to do. But here we go. We see, okay, if you want to drop it back here, okay. So now it's a 5-man rush still, but 2 of those guys that were kind of in there dropped out, and they brought Reed as the free safety blitz and McDuffie off the corner, okay? And he's only got the 5 offensive linemen to protect him. They're screwed with where the protection was called, right, and how the offensive line slid, and now the Chiefs bring 2 guys basically on the opposite side of that. They're in deep crap right away. And I know there's been talk about, why didn't he just turn and throw the swing to Khalil Shakir over here?
There's been some internet chatter about that,
right,
for sure.
First thing is, I mean, if he threw the ball 3 yards behind the line of scrimmage to Khalil Shakir and he didn't get the first down, those same people would be going, how could you throw the ball behind the line of scrimmage on this moment on 4th and 5 and a big moment, blah, 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 right? Let alone, there's people over here that can rally and tackle Khalil Shakir as he's 5 yards behind the line of scrimmage. The second part of it is Josh Allen, he couldn't run to his right. The pressure got on him so quick he couldn't run to his left, right? That's what I meant to say.
Yeah.
Because both the blitzers were going that way. So he had to make a move to the left to then cut back right to buy himself the time to throw the ball at all. And you could see Dalton Kincaid is going to pop open on the other side there, but he doesn't have that time. My point being is, and I see people criticizing Josh Allen, yeah, Josh Allen could have definitely, let's go back to the first picture, could have fixed the protection to a degree.
Yeah, is that
to a degree?
Did he miss something, or was Spags just?
But my thing would be, this is a brilliant blitz in this moment, and he hadn't done it all game, anything like this. And like I said, then the mental gymnastics of the best cover corner coming is not in Josh Allen's thought. He's going, no way, they're going to leave him covering one of my guys here. So at the very least, okay, what he could have done, okay, is made 20. Justin Reed, who's over the right guard, he could have pointed to him to now where they would have got the center going over that way. But I still think they're going to be a player short almost no matter what because of McDuffie and the fact that the other guys are acting like they're going to rush and then they're going to back out. I don't think they're going to ever be able to slide the guys over there. So my point is, yes, Josh Allen could have certainly fixed this, but I'm saying this is like trigonometry, advanced trigonometry, like unbelievable defensive play call that I think would have fooled every quarterback in football is my point. And Spags is Spags because of his ability to do this. And he fools everybody. Whether you go back to last year's Super Bowl, the year before that, you go back to Tom Brady in Super Bowl 42 when the Giants upset the Patriots, that was... I mean, you saw rushers coming at Tom Brady that day. You were like, wow, I've never seen Tom Brady under attack like this. This is crazy. They're getting free people and hitting Tom Brady like that. So I think people that are kind of criticizing his protection call there are really trying to be haters and reaching for something is what I'm saying there.
And the fact is that if Dalton Kincaid just catches that ball that's in his arms, that goes from being like, what is Josh Allen doing? He really messed it up, to being like, that is the magic of Josh Allen. Two free blitzers that weren't even touched. He can still make the play and throw. It's like one of the greatest plays of his career if something happens that he had no control over.
Exactly right. I have a hard time, almost anybody out there would have made that right protection call there and got that all figured out.
Yeah.
And like I said, that was a tough call for them to have basically 5 people at the line of scrimmage, 2 blitz, 2 come out, and they haven't done anything like that all year. I'm just saying that is very hard and not really realistic to think he was going to make that happen there.
And one last note for the people that are just like, the Chiefs get all the breaks, they get all the calls, and they do get some calls. Patrick Mahomes has been protected at times in this league. There are 5 fumbles in the game. The Bills recovered all of them.
That is incredible.
So they got all those fumbles, and so that was one of the things that worked out in their favor. In this
Here's another aspect of the and I don't want to. I guess I'll wait. I don't want to flip this over yet. I was about to start going Chiefs. So I don't had to. So you got me going, and I'm going, but I'm not going. Good. I'm not going there yet. Right, I'm not going there. Good. Not so fast.
He is ready to go. So we got to take a break.
We have more
here.
Though. No, don't we?
We will flip. Well, you do. You have something.
We gotta hit the Josh Allen quarterback sneak stuff too. We gotta hit that real quick.
Okay, all right.
Just real quick before we switch the side of the ball.
So here we go. I'll read you the stat for that one. Next Gen Stats has got a number on that. Josh Allen was stuffed short of the line to gain on 3 quarterback sneaks. That's the most run stuffs by a defense against sneaks in a game in the Next Gen Stats era. That goes back to 2016. Tush push is something that the Eagles like to do.
Exactly right.
Pretty good at it. So the Bills really were not stopped on the quarterback sneak. The Josh Allen done a little differently, but still very difficult for teams to stop, and the Chiefs were able to do it. Can they do it against the Eagles?
I mean, it's a different animal here with the Eagles and what they do, but I don't think the Eagles, if you stop them 2 out of the 3 times, I don't think they'd go back to the well again. I think they'll go, wait, we got another play we can go to. That's right, we got the best running back in football. We can give him the ball.
That's true.
Right. That was my problem. My problem watching that game back all in all with Buffalo was the chasing with the 2-point conversions, which really came back to bite them in the ass, and then that sequence right there where I'm going, wait, this is the Chiefs. They have pride in not letting teams just do whatever they want or the thing they've done to teams all year. They're not the kind of team that's like, oh, yeah, whatever you did to everybody else, you're going to do to us. They take pride in stopping that. And in 2 out of the last 3 quarterback sneaks, you didn't get back to the line of scrimmage. So to call it again to me, that was the part where at some point you got to go, hey, we've been doing this all year, but maybe tonight's not the night. And we got to go to the well with a few other plays here. And they didn't do that. And, of course, that was a huge part of the football game. And hey, I still think he probably got it, but it's so close in that moment with a scrum of bodies, I can understand why they didn't overturn it.
It's going to go 50-50, some of those plays. Yeah. And you're going to get some, and they did not get that one. All right, I'm going to take a break here unless Chris stops me again. No? Okay, all right, there we go. We're going to flip it over to the other side, Chiefs offense, Eagles defense, and I will tell you of the new head coaches who won the press conference. That's all coming up next.
I wear glasses now. To any players that's here now, put your seatbelts on and get ready for the ride. Put your seatbelts on and get ready for the ride. Listen, there are going to be some challenges, but with challenges becomes opportunity, gets opportunity. But here's what I do know. We're the freaking New York Jets, so we're built for this.
My conversation with the Joneses has been incredible. We see football the same way. It's a first-class organization all the way. You can't. I've never been in the big room, Jerry. Stephen, I've never been in the big room.
Jacksonville, the community, Duval.
We do want to fill our stadium up with our guys. I know that we have a good draw for people from out of town. There you go. There you go. That's what I'm talking about. Hey, Mark, settle down a little bit.
That was good.
That's a good line right there. So that was like a hype video of press conferences.
Yeah.
You know, that doesn't have the same feel to it, but we've had 6 of them so far. The Saints they don't want to be included in this whole thing. They're just waiting, right? When's that going to get resolved? Don't know. So what I've done is everyone talks about you want to win the press conference, or maybe it doesn't matter if you win the press conference. Look at Dan Campbell. I wanted to rank them. I went back and I watched all the press conferences again. I took some notes, and I have the definitive rankings of who won the press conference.
Okay, good.
You ready?
I like to know it. Let me know.
Someone has to be last, and that person is the new Cowboys head coach, Brian Schottenheimer.
Yeah.
And so none of this, there were good moments for all these guys, and I think he's a solid guy. He seemed comfortable up there. But he said the worst line that I heard of all of the press conferences. He goes, one of my greatest strengths is my ability to create relationships. I'm really good with X's and O's, but I'm great with people. The type of men we have in this locker room are excited about that. So first of all, I never think you should have to say that you're great with other people. You know, that's one of the things you show. Don't tell me.
Right.
So I didn't necessarily like that.
Right.
And he's also speaking for the team. And let's ask them if they're excited about you as head coach.
About your people skills.
He's in a tough spot because it's like you got Dad Jones, you got Son Jones right to left. It's a strange environment. You know, they're running the whole show here.
Well, they talked way more than he did during the press conference.
Yeah,
so
that's
that's
a
almost
tough situation.
It's like almost you lose the press conference just because of that, because you don't even get to hold the press conferences because the owner runs the press conference.
Yes, exactly. So that's a very difficult situation. So for those reasons, I have put Brian 6th in the power rankings.
Okay.
Number 5, pains me to do this.
Yeah.
My guy Ben Johnson.
It doesn't really pain you. It doesn't really.
It's a miracle
pain you.
I didn't put them last here. Ben Johnson. So I thought a little nervous energy there.
Okay.
A little nerd energy, but I think that's part of his charm too.
Yeah.
Genuine.
Right.
Spoke the truth.
Right.
Seemed genuine.
Yeah.
Didn't have much of a filter there. I saw the interview with you, and I thought he was awesome you and Mike.
He was
so I
really
loved
good.
that.
Right.
But I do worry that if things are going wrong, he won't necessarily instill confidence in the fan base because of that nervous nerd energy.
Got
a
you.
little
All
bit.
right. So the nervous nerd energy scared you a little bit.
I thought it just took him down a couple pegs.
I hear you. I think where we got to go with him is, hey, it is new and all that, you know, and
yes.
I think there is some nerdiness in him, right? But in a good way, and hopefully the fact that he's such a nerd can squash some of these things, or he could be like, but we 500 yards of offense yesterday, right? That's what you're hoping for. So, but we'll see where that goes.
And if you do talk to any of these people like in person in New Orleans, just tell them I did this ranking.
Don't worry.
You had no association with this at all.
Don't worry, I will. Don't you worry.
Number 4 for me was Mike Vrabel.
Yeah.
I think what he does really well is he levels with the audience. Like he's not trying to pull anything over on you.
It kind of just gives you a serious good look.
Exactly.
Thought out answer.
Been there, done that vibe.
Right.
He wasn't trying to impress anyone, speaks the truth.
Yep.
But I do think he's pretty low energy, right? He's like to the point where, he's not trying to impress anyone, but maybe try to impress a couple people. It's just like get us a little excited. He'll save that for the players, which is fine. But this is a press conference ranking, and so I put him fourth.
Yeah. He's this is him though, and this is where he's just not going to change a whole lot that way because he doesn't want to portray, charming, cute, funny guy to his football team, right?
Yeah.
That's where he's a little different.
True.
So he wants to make sure he comes in the door and he goes, I'm the boss. We're serious here right now.
Yeah.
And then he'll start to crack a few jokes with the local media and stuff like that altogether. But he played it conservatively.
He did. He's speaking to the players, not us. But I'm doing the rankings, and so you do it for me.
Yep.
So he's for it. Number 3 for me, Raiders head coach Pete Carroll. Now he was by far, I think he was the most comfortable of all the new hires up there.
Would say
addressing,
that too.
He had nothing to hide. I thought he was speaking free and easy here. He did have a little bit of the oh boy, Grandpa's about to tell a long story vibe. Where you're like, oh geez, where's this one going? A little lower energy too, kind of like Vrabel, but I thought he was like solidly right in the middle, a little above average.
I agree. He did a great job. I mean, he's got a great way of being witty, but yet also being the older wise man in the room, right? He can reflect on his history to kind of let you know, like, hey, I was pretty good. Like, I don't know if you saw what I did at USC and, at Seattle, right? He's got a good way of infusing that to kind of remind you. And we do know with him, too, and the way he talks and that energy, his energy is infectious through a football team, and that's what he brings. And it kind of just brings the excitement and competition level up within a football team.
In control of the moment.
Yep.
That's what I felt Pete Carroll was there. So well done, Pete. You're number 3. Not in the top 2, though. Number 2, and this could be a surprise to some people, and it was to me.
I was surprised.
I had seen the one clip of Liam Cohen saying Duval, which I think it was more the head movement that got him in trouble there. I mean, the voice was kind of weird too. But in totality, the whole thing, I thought he had good energy. I thought he had a confidence about him.
He does.
I thought he kind of had a philosophy and a belief system of this is what we have to do to be a good football team, a good football program. He has a little bit of that goofy energy, and he was trying a little too hard at times. I mean, I respect that. He was trying, but I think it was a little too hard. Slipped into politician speak a little bit, but I thought for the most part he attacked this press conference trying to show that he was excited, he was ready, get the fan base excited, and overall, outside of Duval,
it was good.
I thought Liam Cohen did a really good job.
I agreed. Did awesome job. Duval maybe, and just getting a tighter shirt around his neck, which he's going to have a lot more money to get those fitted. I think will be the big things he's got to work on. But I'm with you. Hey, there's been a lot of talk about this guy for a few years in NFL circles behind the scenes, right?
Yeah.
I think everybody knew this day was going to come. It just was like, it was going to come now, right? Whether he was in the Rams, he impressed people with the Rams. He went to Kentucky so he could call plays there. People always knew he had his eye looking back at the NFL to get in and do that. I think everybody that had ever been around the guy thought he was head coach, upper tier offensive talent guy. Then the way that whole thing shook down with, he withdrew his name. And come on, we know he withdrew his name because of the Trent Baalke and the GM situation. And then they got rid of him, and then he was back in the mix again, right? But yeah, I do think he tried to show his personality and show hey, I'm not just some nerdy offensive guy. I got a little more about me there. And I thought overall he did a pretty good job of showing that.
Agreed. He just should not do that Duval thing. And now he's got to embrace it, though. I think he's got to bring that back at a certain point, and we'll all laugh about it because he's laughing about it. But he did not win the press conference.
No, he did not.
Number 1 is Jets' new head coach, Aaron Glenn. We saw there, he started off with a joke, which I got to wear. I need glasses now, throwback to he was there, he's been there before, and now he's back, more experienced and with worse eyesight. Real dude, speaks with passion himself. Did not shy away from any issue.
Nothing.
Brought up Aaron Rodgers on his own, say, we'll get to that. Handled the situation and said, we're the New York Jets. He's swearing at his thing. I thought of all the coaches, he was the most authoritative, the most commanding, and like a real dude, and I think he'll handle New York very well.
I agree with that. He's been here and done that. I think he's got the attitude for that. As we've talked about before, I don't think Dan Campbell, and this is where I'd argue with Ben Johnson a little bit, I don't think he's got any too nerdy of guy on his staff, right?
Yeah.
They all got a little bit of a bravado, and I'm confident, and we're going for it on 4th down or whatever, right? They got that about them. He certainly does. let alone we know he does just because he was a corner in the NFL, and they usually have the greatest self-confidence in the world. Corners are amazing that way. I aspire to have the mentality of a corner, right? Corners can be like, I'm the greatest thing on earth. Pick 6, I'm the greatest thing on earth. Wait, you got burned for a touchdown. That's because I tripped on that glass right there. I'm still the best I'm the best man on the planet Earth, right? I slipped there. I think I said glass. I meant to say grass, but either way, I would agree with you that he won it. Had all the right touch of being forceful yet funny, not being a jerk, but certainly in control. I'm excited for him, and I hope he can turn the Jets around.
Congratulations, Aaron Glenn. You won the press conference. Now, Pete reminds us here that Nick Sirianni, he did bomb his intro press conference, and Pete notes that now he is being carried to his second Super Bowl here by the team around him. So,
well, you don't always have to win the press conference, as we know.
Well,
there are some out there.
For Dan Campbell, if they
won it.
He did. But, I do agree. But although there were people at the time saying
they thought it was silly.
It was weird. You know, and then you win, you're like, actually, it wasn't weird. It was very good. It was the thing they needed. So, I don't know. That's just my ranking.
No,
right there. Congratulations.
It can go anywhere in this department. That's what it's cool to see how this goes, because as we know, great coaches comes in all shapes and sizes and emotional levels and intensity and all of that. So you can do it a number of different ways, and we'll see which one of these guys does it the right way.
Nerve-wracking, too, because you got nerds like me evaluating your every word.
Everybody's dissecting
it's tough. It would be a really
that's
rough
the
situation.
First part of the test. It's part of the, man, are they really going to put that guy out there on the podium and say, is that going to get the fan base excited?
Yeah.
Right? I think that's certainly a huge part of this whole thing and goes into the thinking of who we're going to hire. Are we going to hire somebody and everyone's going to go, oh, him, oh, what a dorky answer, what a nerd, and then just have it start off on a negative first step, or are we going to have something, a little more positive that everybody excites everybody?
I saw one of those. I was at one of those press conferences. Jim Tomsula for the 49ers. That was one where you're like, this is not going to work out.
Right.
This is actually going to probably be done after 1 year, and it was.
It was.
So scary going into your first press conference as head coach. What else is scary is having to face Patrick Mahomes at any time, regular season, especially in the playoffs and especially in the Super Bowl. He can make you look bad there. Number 3 in our pick 6, Chiefs offense versus the Eagles defense here. Let's start with Lip Smacklin Good. Says Mahomes is 8-0 versus Fangio. What do Reed and Mahomes do to keep that edge? And Plug and Play 16 says Fangio has never beat Mahomes, but this Eagles defense is different. Thanks, fellas, as always. So, Fangio has not been able to figure out the puzzle that is Patrick Mahomes, but now has his best the toolkit to perhaps do it this time.
I think so, too. I mean, it's kind of shocking to hear that, Mahomes is 8-0, but this is clearly the best defensive talent Fangio's been around, I think, in those matchups. He's got a front four that is special, and then he's going to feel like, hey, we can get after Patrick Mahomes with them. I don't have to blitz too much. They don't have scary, dangerous receivers. I feel like I'm going to be able to play some man-to-man. But here's the thing, and with this matchup, and this is definitely advantage Kansas City to me here in this department, right? I think the Eagles defense is awesome. They're awesome, right? But here goes into our, brains versus brawns conversation a little bit. Fangio, the defense, and I'm not trying to be like, they got brains. Don't get me wrong here. I'm just trying to paraphrase for some topics here altogether. But the Eagles are a little bit, even on the defensive side of the ball, this is what we do. We're good at it. We got good players. We're not going to really, veer too far from what we do. Okay? That's all cool. That'll all work against most teams in football. This is the one team it's not going to work against. You just said it. Like playoff football, Mahomes, the Chiefs. You saw the passing game the other day. They came out. It was boom, 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 boom. We're on fire. Second drive, boom, 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 boom. Okay, he fumbled the handoff, and that derailed things for a little bit. But Mahomes and the Chiefs, and this is where they do have an advantage a little here, is the Mahomes and the Chiefs, well, if you play zone every play, they're going to tear you up, just like you saw them do to the Bills in the football game the other night. See, what happened to them the other night is they went, wait, they want to play these zone defenses where they're kind of trying to play zone coverage, but they're trying to cheat a guy in to help with the run game a little bit, and they're kind of leaving this hole here all the time. Well, we're just, boom, going to hit it. And whether it's RPOs, which they ran a lot of in the football game, right? Especially you saw my notes at the start of the football game, because you get that guy like the nickelback who's worried about, let me get in the box to help the run game, but yet I'm going to be here to cover Juju Smith-Schuster in the slot too. And the Chiefs are like, they're the kings of going, nah, we can't let you do that. That's some cheating bullshit. We're going to make you pick one or the other. You're going to play pass defense, or do you want to stop the run? And what they did was, here, fake the run. Oh, that guy that's trying to kind of play both. Well, of course, he kind of goes with the run. Oh, well, now you left a hole in the passing game, blah, blah, blah. They will pick you apart in zone defense. And what they did was they basically beat the Buffalo Bills into man coverage. The Buffalo on the third drive of the game was like, we give up. We're not going to play very much zone. And I think you said to me Sunday night, like Buffalo played like 48% man-to-man, maybe the most they did all year long. Yeah, they had to because they were being beaten into submission. And that is definitely something the Eagles, I do think, will have to change up. The Eagles, like you saw the other day, they can be surgically, that'd be one of their weak spots of their team, is you can surgically destroy them a little bit. We saw Jaden Daniels' first drive. They couldn't get off the field. 5-yard completion, 4-yard completion, 8-yard completion, right? We saw that on a few drives from Washington. We see that against Philadelphia from time to time. You can't sit there and do that against this team. Playoff Mahomes, their attention to detail, they're on their game. It's the laser focus, all those things you talk about, the magnitude of the moment. They're not going to mess up being surgical in these kind of games or these moments. So you're going to have to try to mess it up for them. And that's where the first thing to me is that the Eagles cannot sit back and play 4-man rush, 7 men in zone, play after play after play, or Mahomes and company will have their way.
Well, I mean, they played pretty well against the man coverage, too. I mean, that's the problem with the Chiefs, right? You get them, you playing man against them, and Patrick Mahomes can beat you, find ways to beat you there, too.
They just want to get you into one thing so they can start to go. See, early in the game, they knew the Bills were going to play zone, so they were like, let's call all our zone shit and just screw them up. Yeah. Then they played man. There was like a drive of like, oh, shit, okay, they changed over. We got to fix some things, whatever. But then, as you saw in drives in the third quarter and the fourth quarter to ice the game or whatever, they've stopped playing zone. So now we can get to all our man plays. And even though they don't have the great man-to-man, like single individual A.J. Browns or Devontae Smith who could just beat man to coverage like this all the time, they have, again, we go back to the brains thing where they go, hey, let's go to all those brainy, awesome man-to-man plays we have that screw defenses over. It doesn't matter how good our receivers are. Mm-hmm. You can't cover these routes in man-to-man coverage, and that's what they're going to try to access if they can get Philly to do that.
What about the scrambles? Was that on zone coverages, man coverages? Patrick Mahomes scrambled to run on 6 of his 34 dropbacks, his second highest scramble rate in a game in his career.
I think it was more of the man coverage is what. Yeah. I think it was more of some of these plays where he saw a lane, and I kind of tried to explain this to you on Sunday night, and watching it back yesterday, I think it was pretty on point with the fact of, I think he saw lanes, he saw a bunch of guys playing man with their back turned, and he went, nobody's here, I'm out of here, right? And I think that happened to him a certain part of this football game. But Mahomes' movement and all of that is one of the things that usually goes what do I want to say? It goes overlooked in a football game by defenses to a degree, yet he makes 3 or 4 running plays that you go, damn, that might have been the difference of the game, right? But we didn't really account of it because we're so worried about him carving us up from the pocket in the pass game that we didn't really assign a spy to him. And if you remember the Eagles Super Bowl matchup the first time, he had a big run at the end of the first half, or the first drive of the first half that got him down close to the end zone. And, of course, he had that big run down the middle of the field late in the game, right? That was a huge moment of the game. And I do think it's an aspect that you got to think about a little bit in big situations. Do we want to keep somebody there for him? Because the front four seems to not really get there in those big type of moments.
You noted the RPO usage early on for the Chiefs and throughout the game. So in the regular season, they were around 17% using the RPO, which was second in the NFL to the Green Bay Packers, just barely. They've boosted it up in the playoffs. They're nearly 25% RPO now. What could Philly do to combat that, or is that a problem for them?
No, I think the one thing and why it goes up is because defenses try to play that way, especially like the Texans. They were the same way. Zone defense, we kind of want to cheat this guy into helping the run, but also have him cover. And they're just like, no, we got to teach them that that's not allowed in football. That's what John Gruden used to say. We owe it to them to teach them right now that they can't do this and this isn't sound, right? And I think that's kind of what they do. They're going to, you're cheating here? Well, we're going to expose this cheating, and then we're going to make you readjust. But the problem with them and the RPOs too is they have man-to-man RPOs as well. That's where they're pretty good as well, and that's where it just does. You can't just go, oh, we got to play man-to-man and we'll stop, the RPOs. No, they have some good ways to throw some slants, to have little pick play RPOs that get people open altogether. But I do think man-to-man more times than not is going to be the thing that at least annoys it to a degree. Let alone if you could figure out the formations where you think, oh, this is a play where they could fake the run and they will try to throw the ball right here in this little void. Can we have a guy drop out, be there in that area to kind of discourage that throw? But that will be the tough thing in this football game because Kansas City doesn't waste plays very much, right? Like the things you've heard me talk about with the Philadelphia Eagles a little bit, when you overplay the Chiefs in certain areas and do that, they always access the right group of plays off of that eventually. Just like the last play of the game where P. Ryan catches it and ices it, right? Again, they're playing this man in every big play now. Let's just call another one of our man plays to screw them up, right? The first pass of the last drive of the game, same thing. They're playing us man. They're all worried about the run here. It's the first play of the drive, right? Or the second play of the drive. They think we're going to run out the clock. Let's just get an easy completion. Boom, right to the guy in the flat. Oh, hey, first down. We got a free 10 yards, right? So that's their special. And that's where Vic Fangio and the Eagles, who were kind of vanilla, that don't really disguise a lot. They don't really hey, we're doing this, and then we do that. Those are the things the Eagles are going to have to change in this game. Because if you think you're just going to rush 4 and play quarter, half, and then quarters, and then this, and just line up in it all game, and you're going to stop Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes, I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah.
And even with your better team and your better talent, and that's where they're going to have to find that fine line of, again, tactical, hey, we'll take a chance here. Oh, we're going to play our defense. Hey, we'll sprinkle in a chance here. Oh, we'll play our defense again. Just like Spags does within his own formula, Vic Fangio is going to have to find that too.
Now, the reason it works for the Eagles a lot of times is because that front is pretty good. And you've mentioned Jalen Carter is maybe one of the best ever, at least trending that way right now.
Exactly.
And they've been able to get pressure.
Right.
Chiefs going to try to do some misdirection here, some RPO to slow that down. But Living Like Lay says, are you worried that the Chiefs can't block the Eagles?
Yeah.
Because this postseason is the most I've seen people around Patrick Mahomes in a while.
Definitely. But when you get to him, can you get him? Right? That's the thing. Can you actually make the play a negative play? Because, people are around them, but they have a million great ways. They're hilarious because, of course, you know what I've always said. They were the bombs away, greatest, deepest throwing team we've ever seen. It was so fun to watch that everybody got so shit scared. They went, we can't ever let them throw a deep ball again. And then it became this year or two of adjusting to wait, we can't throw the ball deep, so we got to get better at throwing the ball short. And now you sit there and go, when they want to be surgical and throw the ball short, I don't know if anybody's better in football than they are. So that's where, they can get the ball out quick. He, of course, is extremely smart. He's got a handful of incompletions every game where I go, it's really not an incompletion. The protection broke down. He just did a great job of magically throwing it at somebody's feet and avoiding the sack and doing all that. And that's going to be the big thing. I don't think they can block them consistently, but I think the Chiefs are very good at not letting you just tee off all the time with quick passes, wide receiver screens, some of the jet sweeps we see. That slows it down and doesn't let one team just do one thing over and over and over on them again.
And a run game can help slow that down as well. Kareem Hunt last game, 17 carries, 64 yards, had some runs.
Yeah.
Physical runner, looks like Isaiah Pacheco from years past.
Definitely.
Too. Isaiah Pacheco doesn't quite look like Isaiah Pacheco from years past.
No, he does not.
Do you think that the Chiefs need a running game to be able to win this game?
They just need to keep attempts there. I think the other aspect they can probably dive into is, and I wrote this in one part of my Eagles D notes. I wrote, Chiefs short passing game, screen to wide receiver is going to be huge in this football game, right? And I wrote that because, I don't think they're as good at running the football as they've been the last 2 years. They're not. And I don't think they're as good at pass protecting as they've been the last 2 years. And what are they going to do in the Super Bowl? Are they going to still leave Tooney at left tackle, or are they going to give him now enough time to put him back at guard and try to get one of these other guys at left tackle? I'm interested. Or are they just going to go, let's not mess with it? The playoffs, Tooney's been the left tackle. Caliendo was a little bit better last week than the week before, and let's just continue to ride that wave. Those are going to be the things they have to worry about. But, I don't expect them to be able to run the ball all that well. I just think they just need to run it just to kind of keep the Eagles honest. So that would be the most important thing.
Travis Kelce, we saw him with just a couple catches last game. Previous game, he stepped up big time. This is a question from Hattie Horrors. This says, Ertz went for over 100 last week. Higbee had a day the week prior. What are the Eagles going to do about Travis Kelce?
Yeah, this goes into the zone conversation again, though, right? That's why those guys have that success, and that's what it's going to be tough for them. And I do think this is where the Eagles might have to play a little bit more man-to-man than they maybe normally want to. I'm not saying they have to play it all the time, but that will be a thing. Now, I don't think they're going to give special attention to him. I don't think he's used enough as a staple of their offense to warrant special attention anymore, right? Everything's equal in Kansas City. 2 years ago, I would have gone, hey, 2 out of every 3 plays, worry about Kelce in the passing game, right? Now you just kind of go, hey, if he's open the ball, go there. But they're not like designing a million plays for him anymore.
Yeah.
That day is done. So, we'll see. But I don't think it's going to be special like attention to him anyways, or we're going to double him here on a big moment. I don't think that's going to happen.
All right, so I'm looking through the notes here.
No,
I feel
I think we hit a lot of them. Here's one of my things with the Eagles do play man-to-man, right, and do it a lot. There's ways you have to protect yourself against man-to-man, right? Like what we talk about a lot of the times. You play man-to-man, there's certain routes that it's impossible to stop. And good man-to-man teams know how to protect themselves against those certain type of routes. That's what I worry about the Eagles a little bit, right? Where, like, the Chiefs, if they play man-to-man, okay, they might know, wait, this guy can run a shallow cross, and it doesn't matter how good our corner is, he's not going to be able to run across the field as fast as that receiver is and cut him off and stop a ball from being complete, right? So they usually, will have, hey, there's a DN that dropped back on the weak side to help so the guy doesn't have to worry so much about the shallow cross, and he can play all the other routes, right? They protect themselves. The weak side safety is looking for the shallow cross to help out McDuffie because they know it's not realistic that he's going to be able to run through the bunch on the shallow cross, right? Yeah. The Eagles don't necessarily do that because that's not their cup of tea. And if they get forced into man-to-man and then Mahomes starts accessing those plays, can they play it the right way when they access those plays is going to be a big thing in this football game as well.
We're going to be dissecting this one for another how many days, handful of days, double digits still, all the edges. And then we're going to look at the coaches too. And this is John Ardell that says, do you notice different levels of maturity from Philly and KC's coaching staff? Now, Nick Sirianni, certainly one of the more rambunctious coaches out there. We'll get into it with his players and fans out there. When you're looking for every edge imaginable, I mean, Andy Reid's one of the all-time great, and you can make the argument that he is the great all-time. He's done it with multiple teams, multiple schemes, multiple quarterbacks. How big of an edge do you think Kansas City has over?
Well, there's their
experience,
their ability and belief of big-time games that we're going to come up with the right plan, and then the players' ability in believing the coaches that, hey, our old wise men, Andy Reid and Spags, are going to lead us down the right path, right?
Yeah.
Fangio has a little bit of that magic, too. He's got a little of that old wise man, just listen to me and I'll take care of us here that way, right? Doesn't have as many Super Bowl jewelry to kind of justify that to a degree. But, hey, the one thing I'll say Sirianni does is they have a team, they don't back down from anybody. And I do think that's because of him. And their toughness and their little bit of their in-your-face mentality they have, that is because of Nick Sirianni. And the fact that of also, too, of hey, yeah, we don't do a whole lot, but you, we're going to do it anyways, and you know we're going to do it, and it's going to still work. I think that's Nick Sirianni, too.
Yeah, I think that works in Philly.
Yeah, exactly right. That's what I'm saying. So I don't look at it as any, I give the Chiefs the advantage, but I'm not sitting here going, oh, this is the Eagles are screwed because Sirianni and Fangio don't know their ass from their elbow. They're in deep trouble. Not at all. Not at all. And as we know, that game was there to be had for them to win the first time around in the Super Bowl. We'll see where it goes here. My big thing is, though, can the Eagles, with their vanilla approach but supreme talent, beat Mahomes that way? right? That's the question. Mahomes and Reed are not going to be worried about, can we figure out what defense they're playing or how do we pick up this blitz, right? That's not going to be it. So they're all going to be like, hey, what route combination screws this route? Because they're going to be like, we're not worried about the blitzes. We're not worried about being fooled. Instead, it's going to be how many creative ways can we come up with, open up holes in zone, and how many aggressive plays can we, can we dial up by also feeling good about the front four and blocking them, right? That's what it's going to be about. And when I say that out loud, that's when I go, Philadelphia is definitely going to change a few things up on the defensive side, make them think a little bit more.
You'll have plenty more time to continue to break down this game. Many of those comments will happen in New Orleans, but we got to take one more break here. When we come back, we'll talk the Super Bowl odds. We'll lay two teams to rest in the ground. We'll kill them.
Cool.
Oh, they're already dead. We'll just bury them. And then return to the Buzz Watch, the final things here on the Pick Six podcast.
Cool.
Welcome back to Chris Simms Unbuttoned, presented by our friends at Lowe's. Our friends at DraftKings have the Super Bowl 59 MVP odds right now. Surprise, surprise, Patrick Mahomes is the favorite to walk away with that MVP trophy, plus 110. Saquon Barkley behind him, so it's not quarterback, it's quarterback, running back.
It's odd. It's the first time in, I don't know, since when? I guess maybe the Seattle Seahawks, where we look at an offense and go, the marquee guy is the running back, right? As far as Super Bowl is concerned, am I wrong about that? I'm just throwing that out there as a main talk. But
You're the historian.
Well, we don't see that nearly as much anymore, right? This is old school stuff. This is like when you used to see the Cowboys in the Super Bowl. We'd go, oh, Emmitt Smith's he's the guy that's in the leader house to be the MVP, right? Yeah. That doesn't happen as much. Mahomes, of course, would be the guy I would lean on, certainly. Saquon, yes, if you thought the Eagles were going to win, is definitely would think Saquon off of that. And then, after that, it's like, hey, do they all go crazy to stop Saquon and Jalen Hurts has a big day?
Yeah.
I certainly could see that happening. I feel like in the Chiefs, right, would you go Travis Kelce as being the other guy to get it if Mahomes didn't? Like, who would be the next guy in your mind?
A tight end is the only non-special teams position that has never won Super Bowl MVP. So no tight end has ever won. So if Kelce does it, he's made history. But it seems like, Worthy has had those explosive plays, and sometimes you see that, a guy that just catches 2 touchdowns,
That's right. It'd have to be that. Maybe he gets a reverse for a big play or do something like that. But we'll see. If Kelce has a day like he did against the Texans, maybe he will become the MVP.
That's true. Yeah.
Right, as we know, and it's just like also underwhelming stats by Mahomes have to happen as well. That's the big thing there. But it's hard not to have Mahomes and Saquon in the lead in that one.
Quarterbacks have won 17 of the last 26, including 4 of the last 5. Running back has not won since.
Okay, hold on. Running back has not won since. Hold on a second, Slugger. I know this for sure. I just got to think about it for a second. Okay, let me just think. 2000s running backs. I don't think there was anybody there. It's not the 2000s, right?
Correct.
It's Terrell Davis and the Broncos.
Terrell Davis, right. 1997. Well done.
That's incredible.
Beginning in 2001, the NFL began allowing fans to vote for the game's MVP. And so if you didn't know this, fan vote counts for 20%, media 80%. So Kelce will get the Swift vote. So that's all the Swifties will vote for Travis Kelce. So maybe it will happen. DraftKings Sportsbook, the #1 place to bet touchdowns. New customers can bet $5, get $200 in bonus bets instantly.
Download the app and use promo code UNBUTTON when you sign up.
DraftKings Sportsbook, the crown is yours. And the Buzz Watch is mine as we move to number 5 here. Super Bowl 59 outcomes. And so this will be the last Buzz Watch we do this season. It's kind of sad. It
is sad.
Tear to the eye. So I kind of ranked from 5 to 1 the things that could happen realistically in this game that will create the most buzz. So let's see it. Let's see if you agree with this.
Okay.
Number 5 is, and if you're in the top 5, that's still buzzworthy. So don't think that just because you're 5, like, oh, no one's going to be talking about it. It's still a big deal. Number 5, Eagles win by 2 scores. Chiefs lay an egg. So I think one is where that's just the Chiefs just totally go into this game like, well, how did that happen?
That would be, yes, that would be a big time news. You're right.
Yep.
In fact, I have a hard time thinking that should be 5, honestly.
So maybe you think that's
right?
All right, let's go through and see what you think. How high would it go? Okay, number 4, I think Chiefs three-peat, because I think a three-peat will create buzz that will last for years, right?
Yes,
so I think that's tough to argue with. Chiefs three-peat, but it's a non-Mahomes player who's the star, like a Worthy or a Kelsey or a Chris Jones or something like that.
Okay,
So
yeah, that would be big news,
me.
certainly, definitely. But yes, the three-peat is big regardless. I don't care how you get it, where you get it, who does it, whatever. We'll be talking about it. First team ever to go to 5 out of 6 Super Bowls, first team to win 3 Super Bowls in a row. We're going to be talking about it for as long as I'm on TV, at least. I know that.
That is true. But I think there are 3 things that we'll be talking about, maybe even more, or maybe bigger, right after the Super Bowl. 3, the Eagles win a close game, and Jalen Hurts takes it to Patrick Mahomes and outduels him in the game.
Definitely. That's huge news. Again, that'd be another one where I'd go, really? That's only 3? That might be more than one worthy.
You might want to put them all at number 1 here. Number 2 for me is the Eagles win again. I think it's the second biggest buzz that we'll get, and Saquon goes off. Over 200 yards, multiple touchdowns. He's the MVP.
Yeah.
First one since 97. I think that's number 2.
That's big buzz. I think your last one would probably be more buzzier than this one, right? Like,
I think Hurts outdueling Mahomes?
Yeah, that would be a big talking subject.
I just think Saquon's the star. But
yes, but I know what you mean. That's what I was just about to say. That's a tough one there. But yeah, you're right. Either way, we're going to be talking about it in a big way.
But number 1, the most buzzworthy thing that we'll be talking about for years to come is if the Chiefs do pull off this three-peat and Patrick Mahomes delivers an all-time quarterback performance in the Super Bowl.
I'm glad you went that way, because that to me was kind of the obvious one.
Yeah.
And when you started this and I didn't look at your 5 and how they were, in my brain was a little bit like, the biggest buzz is the Chiefs winning the Super Bowl, and Mahomes has this unreal performance, and we go, I don't know, is he the best player we've ever seen? Like, period.
Yeah.
I know Brady was awesome, but he ain't Mahomes. Like, I mean, that to me is where, if he does that and has a day where we just go, oh my gosh, he threw for 350 and he was 27 for 32 and 3 touchdowns and MVP again for the fourth time.
Yeah.
That is like, okay, it's like, is he the greatest or is he the second greatest of all time? That's all we can ever talk about from that point on.
So to recap, you thought all 5 of them should be number
good.
1, but number 1 should be a little more number 1 than the rest of them.
I know the Eagles win by 2 scores and Chiefs lay an egg.
That would be
unbelievable to come in here the Monday after and be like, what? I never saw this coming. Right?
I know, you're right. You're right. We could almost maybe chalk that one up as like, well, that was a fluke. But yeah, all of them would be interesting. It will be great to see what happens.
He's like, Pete's saying like the Bucs-Chiefs Super Bowl. Yes, which was that, but the Chiefs weren't the Chiefs of what we view them right now.
Yeah.
Right. I think that's the big difference. And it was Tom Brady and the Bucs, and we knew they were super talented too.
All right, finally, the final of our Pick 6. It is time for Requiem for a Team for the Bills and Commanders. The homie predictions first here. The Bills, 10% of the homies had them in the conference championship. Well done. 4% had them winning it all. That is not going to happen. Commanders, 33%. Or 33 homies, 5% had them making the playoffs. Just 5% of you are right on that. 0 homies had them in the conference championship, which they made it, and that is where it all ended. So now, the world debut of my eulogies for the Bills and Commanders. As you can see there, the AI had a little difficulty with
sure. Is that an R in there? I think it's an R.
I think it might be an R.
AI looked up the history of this team, and they're like, wait, guys, Commanders or Redskins? What is it? I don't know.
Pete thought it might be a tooth, too. So like the dentist, Washington dentist. But here it is. We lay them to rest.
Josh, you're so good, you make our jaw drop. Since college, your arm has had serious pop. You made us all proud, you can puff out your chest. Congrats to you, Josh, you are second best. One step behind in the NFC East, 32 points behind that green and white beast. Dan Quinn won't be mad when he wakes up to see that at least he wasn't up 28-3. Second place champs, that's who we are. The guy in the picture with the real superstar. Second place champs, no, we're not number 1. Our claim to fame is we almost won.
There it is.
I like that one.
That's a good one.
That was catchy.
That might be my best one.
I mean, Matt Carberry. I mean, the AI music is not terrible. I'm bringing it back to the top of the show.
Man. Yeah.
The poems of that was fun. That was a great song. Come on, Matt Carberry.
Exactly.
368.
We're gonna find one to put in your Spotify playlist.
Yeah, Matt, right. Gonna make him listen to it.
That could be the one right there. For Super Bowl 59.
Yep.
39 homies predicted exactly what we got.
Incredible.
Chiefs and Eagles, good job. 20 picked the Eagles, 19 picked the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Wow, almost right down the middle. And Eric Youngdahl wants to know, where is the spreadsheet with the homies picks?
We'll get it. We're going to get it right. Don't worry. We've been giving updates, but don't worry. We'll post it tonight. Eric, you are right. And anytime we have a chance to say you're right and Pete's wrong, we're going to jump on that one all together. I mean, it's kind of incredible, right? It's amazing. I give a lot of credit to people who picked the Chiefs and the Eagles because it was the obvious one. And one where I talked myself out of it. Right, like literally was like, it's Lions or Lions or Eagles, whatever. It can't be that obvious. I'll go with somebody a little different, right? Because I just feel like it's been so obvious the last few years. I just thought, this might be the term. And then I had the Chiefs, I believe, losing to the Bengals in the AFC Championship game. But it's amazing. Kudos to all those out there who just stuck with their guns and realized the Chiefs and the Eagles were the two best teams.
Because everyone wants to – it's boring. You can't – it's like, Chiefs, are you really going to pick the Chiefs again? Oh, that's real hard.
I know.
You're right if you did that.
Exactly right. It's exactly right. And I'd rather be right. Trust me, I like the years where I picked Chiefs Eagles the first time around in that Super Bowl, or Chiefs Niners last year.
Yeah.
Much more than I tried to be a little different with the Packers and Bengals this year. That didn't get me anywhere. All right.
Yeah. Packers at least made the playoffs, so that was good.
Yeah.
All right. I'll see you when our desk is already there.
Our desk is there. You'll be there Monday. I'll be there Sunday. We're gonna do a pod from there Monday. We're gonna be at Pat O'Brien's on Wednesday. Florio and I for a little live podcast, little drinky, smoky live in action on Bourbon Street. Okay, gonna do that, and then I'm out of there Friday. I'm not staying for the game. I'm gonna come home, watch it this year on the couch, do it all that way.
Will we do the pod after the Super Bowl, or are we gonna wait till Monday?
I don't know. We got to figure that out. I'm not sure. I mean, it is only one game, so I feel like not as guilty to the homies to be like, you guys watch the game.
Totally.
I mean, it's the Super Bowl. They don't need to hear from us at 11 o'clock at night.
And we dodged one bullet with the drinky, smoky.
Yeah,
can we dodge two?
Can we dodge two? A Super Bowl? I don't know. It's Super Bowl. It goes to another level.
Yeah.
Monday confirmed.
Right,
it's
Monday.
sounding like my bosses didn't like my drinky, smoky podcast.
I don't blame them. Pizza's like, I don't want to work on Sunday either.
No, definitely not. All right, but no picks pod this week. You know where to find me, Ahmed, and Mike Florio. But me and Ahmed will be back on Radio Row Monday from New Orleans. Check us out. Hope everybody's good. Enjoy the week. It's the most depressing week of the year. I don't know what the there is to look forward to. Just figure it out yourself. We're all going through it, all right? Peace out, homies. Clap it up.
Clap it up.
Thanks for watching Chris Simms Unbuttoned. It's playoff time, baby.
So make sure to smash that subscribe button, as they say. We got game recaps coming up. We got all of our Super Bowl 59 coverage from Radio Row. You will be in New Orleans yourself.
And you're going to be there at some point, too, whether you like it or not.
Okay.
Thanks again for watching. Remember to subscribe. Peace out, homies.